Hey, good morning, everyone. Good evening, afternoon, wherever you are. So today I decided that I would be continuing the work I did the other day on the Twitch bot client. Right now we are not really doing anything about Twitch. What I'm doing is just working on parsing commands. So the idea being that our user are going to be sending us commands, and we need to be able to parse them. And then once we have a possibility to parse these commands, I will have I will find a way to first of all store these commands for our users, and then we will think about a way to share these commands, because that could be quite useful for people to be sharing their commands amongst themselves. So right now, the last time I did some work, I was parsing the very basic instructions. So right now, for the language, we have, as far as I can remember, we have the possibility to define variables, possibility to define functions, and very basic ones, nothing too fancy. We have additions, subtractions, multiplications, and divisions. And the last time we had we got stuck for a very long time on subtractions. And I was doing the same thing as for additions, but for some reason it didn't work. And then I eventually found out why. So yeah, I think this is it. So I am just going to change the project on IntelliJ right now, because I've been doing some extra work this past week on different topics, most specifically Java agent instrumentation. So that's probably something I can do some other time. But right now I'm just going to change my project and share my screen. So hopefully that should work. Okay, so project is starting now. Okay, so I should be able to share my screen now. There we go. Yeah. So let's remember what I did the last time. The last time what I had was this different tests that are running with various expressions, and I, for example, test that they work together. So -1 divided by 1, for example, should return -1. If I try to divide hello by 2, that should give me an error message. Or if I try to divide a number by hello on any string that is not recognized as a string, then I should be getting an error. And if I try to divide two strings, again, I am going to get an error trying to divide two strings. So far, so good. The last time I had some problems with this expression when I left. So I had 1 plus 2 times 3 divided by 6. So my idea was to be getting 2, and for some reason it was evaluating from left to right. So it was doing 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 times 3, 9. 9 divided by 6, that was giving me 1.5, and that was what I was getting. So I had to work on the priority for my expressions. So the way I did that, as a quick recap, I don't remember if I did that on stream or not, was I changed my multiplication. I've put the multiplication and divisions and addition subtraction in separate groups. And what I said was, for a plus or minus, at first I try to see if I've got a multiplication or division first. I try. If I do, then in that case I evaluate it, and then after this I apply my multiplication and my addition and subtraction. So that is why this thing here is referencing that one here, which itself is referencing this one here. Okay. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to have, I want to create I want to create some if statements. So let's try to do that. So my if statements, I'm going to be putting it here. Oh, why don't I have? Okay, the keyboard was taking some time to awake. So right now I'm going to create a new definition. So here I say def, that's going to be a condition. I think I need to keep the same syntax as for the rest with the underscore p, which one of these days I should probably investigate what that means. And right now that is going to be a parser. So this parser starts with an if, then I can have some white space characters. After this, I am gonna get a condition. So this condition is gonna be like a regular expression that could be, I guess, a call. What was that? Oh, prefix. Let's see. That could be. Let's see. I'm just trying to remember what this prefix expr mean. So prefix expr, I take a call expression, and then I get this call right here, which is okay. So that our parenthesis. Okay, so that is how here I evaluate my expressions. And yeah. So do I want, yes, let's do that. So I'm going to do an if with some meaningful space. Then I want to get, should we force people to have parentheses? Probably wouldn't hurt. So if with any kind of space with this one here, okay, we're gonna have something there, and I don't know yet what that is gonna be. I want to close my parenthesis. I want to leave some, maybe let's put a then statement so that allows us to clearly delimitate stuff. So here, then, again, some space, and I want what happens, an expression that I need to evaluate if the first condition is true, then I'm going to put an else. Oop. Like that. And question marks, else. And that should be it. Maybe, yeah, let's put a semicolon at the end just to be on the safe side. So here I am going to have a problem. So we can investigate it a bit later, but I want to have this thing here, the else. I want to have it optional. So probably I will need to get the whole thing as a pattern, as an expression, and mark this as optional. Yeah. So if, and then we've got everything in parentheses, then, and I pass some expression else that. So let's create a test so that we can run our test and make sure that everything's working fine. So I am just going to copy this. So Control C, Control V, evaluating. So operator precedence is okay, not what I had in mind. Here I want to evaluate it conditions. And so if we need the parenthesis, then 1 else 0 and then semicolon. So if true, this one should return 1. Okay. Then the next one is if false. And that one's going to return 0. Next one is going to be, so let's try to get these removed. So if true, then 1, we should be returning 1. Oh, and I need to articulate them with these AND statements. And so for now, if false, then 1. And if I remove the else, I should be getting a string, an empty string, like that. The test is going to be 13. Okay. Like this. Let's reorganize the code and reformat and everything. Okay. So I want to call this one. Where is it? There. So parse a test, and I am just going to mention that I want to run this test as well. Perfect. And let's try to run this thing. So building, let's see. Let's wait. Okay. Compiling is good. And we are missing something here. So, okay, so a function that takes, should I? Okay, so I need to do that. I think this is what they are expecting me to do. Now view map values to func. Oh, I need to convert. Okay, so that is something I did a bit this past week, and I completely forgot about it. I tried to create a new method for getting the current time. Let's see, value to func. So that takes a sequence of string and gives me why is it not working? So value here. I have a function, that's good. And I have this toFunc that takes a function that itself takes a sequence of strings and return a try of string. So if there is a problem, the try is gonna return a failure. If everything goes fine, it returns a string. Okay, and so that gives me a function which itself takes a sequence of value and gives me a value. Okay, so that sounds good. Let's go back to that was in built-in function. So right now, this map, what is this? What is this map? So that is a mutable builder. Not exactly what I had in mind. So that takes some. Well, I'm just gonna leave it aside because that's not really. Oopsie, what did I do? Control Z, Control Z, and let's escape this. No, Control Z again. I'm going to escape all of this because that's not really what I want to do right now. So let's go back to my test and try to run the test again. And hopefully the newly created test should fail. Okay. It doesn't fail as fast as before and the tests are running. Cool. So the last one, yeah, evaluating conditions are failing. I've got a no such element exception. Key not found if. Okay. So yeah, basically here what it says is that since I haven't defined anything, I've got it thinks that if matches um, a variable, and what it is saying here is saying I don't know any variable called if, which is perfectly normal because that doesn't exist, so that is fine. All right. So, okay, so everything is failing right now. So let's think about it for a second. I want here, so I need to represent this first as a condition in my expression. So let's do that. I'm going to do a case class condition. And the condition is going to take an expression as my first. That is going to be the condition. Condition like this. The second element is going to be, let's think about it. So the second element is going to be if true. And this one is also going to be an expression. And finally, we have if false, which is going to be an optional expression. Optional because if I don't indicate it, then I want to be able to handle the case where I don't have anything being returned. Okay, so I've got condition if true, if false. All right, and that extends an expression. So now I know that if I have an expression that is the trade expression that can be either a string, number, ident, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, a val being the assignment of a variable, a function, a call. So a call is, for example, when I have a function that I want to call with specific parameters. This thing here is going to be the function itself, and that thing there are going to be the parameters that I want to use. And then here condition is if this condition is true, then I am going to return this expression. Otherwise, if it is false, then I return that expression. Good. So I think that it makes sense. All right. In my values. So here, this is when I transform my expressions into values. So when I evaluate everything. So toFunc, I probably don't need it now. That's not what I wanted to do. So what happens if I get a certain expression? So in my case, so right now, so let's see, case expr dot condition. And I have here the first element I'm going to be calling count if true and if false. Okay. So here, I can use some regular Scala. So first of all, let's see count. I am going to evaluate count against different values because the thing is with this language, string and numbers haven't been differentiated yet. So what I want to do is, let's think about it. I want to val, and I'm going to rename this one as count expr. So val count equals, so I try to evaluate, I try to transform this count expression into its result. I'm trying to retrieve the result from that. So and instead of expr, what I want is the count expression like that. And I need to pass some context, some scope. So for example, in the scope, I want to pass the various variables that I may have. I want to pass the name of the functions, this kind of stuff. So evaluate, so here that gives me a condition. Okay, so this condition, this evaluate gives me a value. Okay, so let's think about it. Now I have a value. So my value, really what I want to do, so my value could be either a string, an error, or a function. Okay, so let's think about it. What I'm gonna do is, let's take this expression and do some pattern matching. So match, and I want to consider the case, oopsie. So I want to consider the case where I get a string, str, like that, which is going to be a conditional string. Okay. So I need to do something here. Then what is the default case? What do I do if I don't have it? If I don't have a string? What I am going to do, let's think for a second, is I could return the value itself. Let's think about it. Can I do that? I think I can. Yeah, I think I can. Okay, so let's say that this is a value or other unexpected value. And then in that case, I return other unexpected value. Because if, for example, I have a problem when I try to pass the conditional expression, I want to return that. I don't care about anything else. Okay. So now that I have a conditional string, I need to evaluate this conditional string. So if, let's think. So if count string dot is there a equals ignore case? Yes. So if that is equal to true, then in that case I want to return the evaluation of my if true with the current scope. Otherwise, I want to return the evaluation of, so something to remember is that if false here is an optional. So in that case, I am going to put a default value. So let's think. I am gonna do, so if false, oopsie, dot map, I'm gonna use f to indicate the if false, and then I want to evaluate f against the scope. Okay, so that gives me an optional value, and here I do a get or else. So if I don't have anything, then in that case, I want to return a string, an empty string, like that. Cool. So that sounds easy enough. Let's think about it. Is there anything? Okay, maybe here. So we could do like what the C based languages do. So right now I'm evaluating against true, but I can also put a condition. So const str. Let's do different. Different from 0. I think 0 is false in default from the string false. So here, if my string is equal to true, let's see. I think it's still. I woke up not that. C language conditions. I just want to make sure that I am remembering this. So if statement and the condition is either true or false. True is always non-zero value, and false is a value that contains 0. Okay, so here what I'm saying is either I am equal to true with an explicit string saying true, or it is different from 0. So 0, it means false, and then in that case I evaluate it. So okay, that seems to make sense to me. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to go back to my parsers, and I want to inject this somewhere so that it can get run. So, let's think about it. So could I? So here that should happen once, and I want to capture this. So I am gonna put an exclamation mark, and then okay. I don't know yet what that is going to be. This one is also going to be an exclamation mark, and the whole else like that. I need to say that it can happen 0 or multiple times, so question mark, and then I want to capture this like this. So right now it is complaining because it doesn't know what it is that I want to do. So I am going to say that this is going to be a call expression like that. Call expression. Same thing here and same thing there. Okay. So if I have these, I want to map it. So if I have these, I am going to have a tuple. So let's think. That is going to give me const str if true, if false, like this, and I want to create an expression expr dot condition of, so hopefully const str of if true, if false. So right now it is complaining because I am returning. Oh, that doesn't seem to be correct. So let's think. What is const str? It may just be that. So required is an expression, and right now I am returning these. So let's think. Maybe I don't need that. Okay, so here that gives me, so required I need an expression, and I am returning. Okay, so why is this thing here? So that is expr condition str is containing an expression. So expression with product, and option. What is if true then? Is an expression, and that one is an optional expression. So why is the first one returning these three things? Let's think about it. So every time I am getting these call expr, okay. So call expr should be returning the same thing, and that should return an expr with product. Or maybe I need to do like they did here, this /. Does it do something else? No. Okay. So or maybe here. So right now it found a tuple as if I wanted to get this, that, and that into one same expression, which is not the case. Okay, let's think about it. So my if, why is it returning? Why is the first element in my tuple returning another tuple? Let's simplify my if a tiny bit. So if call expression, then and I call another expression else, and so this thing here is in parentheses, then I get this one. So that thing here, why? I'm just trying to understand, because basically, based on this idea, I think I could just say con dot underscore one, and here that would be working. The reason why I don't want to do that is that I want first to understand why it is returning a triple instead of returning just a singular expression. So if, and then I've got this call expression. So this call expression could be either a string, a locally evaluated element, a function, or an identifier. Okay. Let's see. Does it change if I say if string? It does not. Apparently, I am still getting. Yes, I am still getting all the elements. So that must be something somewhere else. Okay, let's think about it. Let's see. Could it be that? Could it be because I'm using this key like that? Let's see. Nope, still not. So here I can probably keep that. So why is my first call expression considered as a triple and not and not? Oh, maybe because this thing is then evaluating the rest as well. Oh, I think I understand. So let's see. Where is it? No, so I'm gonna go back to the documentation. Where is this freaking documentation? That was actually, I might still have it open somewhere else. Where is that? So that was only easy parsing with parser combination, I guess. Easy parsing with parser combinators. Maybe not. The one I was basing myself on was where is it? Build your own programming language with Scala. Okay, so let's see, and also I probably want to open. Do I have somewhere here? The Fastparse library. Oh, okay. There it is. And I want to read the documentation about it. So where is it? Documentation. That's probably it. Yeah. So there must be a way for me to say, don't evaluate things that come after. So writing parsers. So A or B, da da da. The end parser only succeeds if at the end of the input string, okay, by default the parser does not need to consume the whole input and can succeed early. Okay. Where is it? I want to make sure. So here I want to capture wrap. Okay, parse, no. I want to make sure that I capture things before. And if I have elements afterwards, I just want to make sure that so any character, positive look ahead, wraps a parser only succeeds if it succeeds but consumes no inputs. Okay, so let's see. The AND operator wraps a parser only succeeds if it succeeds but consumes no input. So useful for doing checks like these characters must be followed by a white space but don't consume the white space. So here we capture hello followed by a space, but we don't consume this. Okay. Let's see the other one. The bang operator wraps a parser and only succeeds if it fails. Okay, I'm not sure I understand. Okay, no. So this is on how we want to transform stuff. Okay. I'm just trying to understand. I just want to capture the first element. And I don't want to capture the rest. So if call expression, then call expression, da da da. And does it change anything if I say that? No, it does not. It still tells me I'm getting a string, I'm not getting any EXPR. Okay. So count string if true, if false. Can I say okay, so right now I've got these failures and I can associate, so basic here, I can say I can associate them with the pipe symbol. So that means that it works either if I have an A or a B. Let's see. Do they mention what this pipe mean? Because very often we've got the other way around, which is AND. Where is that? So you can combine two parsers with the tilde operator. This creates a new parser that only succeeds if both left and right parsers succeed one after another. So here that means that we've got A followed by B. But I want to say A or no, A and B. So it needs to be A. So basically what I want is let's see. So I can have characters in that. No, I'm not interested in characters. I'm interested in real complete expressions. What is this EXPR? EXPR is defined. So EXPR is an expression. Maybe I should do something like this call here. So instead of EXPR, I need to get a call. Would this work? Let's try. So call expression is either that. Okay, where is this being used? That is used here. Could I just do that? Still not. Oh no, that means repeat. No, I don't want to repeat that. I want so let's go back to the parenthesis for a second, just to delimitate my stuff. Tilde, and then we close this parenthesis like that. It still doesn't work, and it still gives me everything after this. So should I local is the local evaluation? Really, what I want is, would it change anything if I were to add str? I don't think it would. No. Okay, let's go back to call expression. Let's try first to confirm that it would run if I were to use the first expression here. And why is it now complaining here? Too many parameters. Huh. Oopsie. Or could it be that I need to do case that, and then it seems that it is working now. So it was just a question of using a partial function instead of a function. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Okay, so here first we try to see if it is a condition. If it is not a condition, then we try to see if it is a string. If it is not a string, then we try to see if it is a local call. If it is not a local call, then we try to do a function and an identity. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense, kind of. I think I get I get the gist of it. Yeah, because right now that was returning a tuple, so that's why I got this. Okay. And the case allows me to extract the tuple. So really what I had was just one big tuple instead of this case, and here I am doing this. Okay. That makes sense, kind of. So let's try to run my test and see where it breaks. So recursive method call expr needs result type. Oh yeah, because I am calling, it is calling itself. So I am just gonna move it here. Instead of call expr, because here my call expr Let's think. Mm-hmm. So, do I want to have potentially hmm, so probably I don't need to get str all local. So, okay. So here, mm, let's think about it. So I have this prefix expr. So here I am gonna say that um, so private batch def cond expr. So that is going to be the same thing as here. Mm, which one should have? No, maybe not. So here plus minus expression. That might be a question of priority. Let's do the ifs at the end, I guess. Let's try that. Okay, so private of this guy, Control C. Oh. So def of um, why is my so for some reason my keyboard is not seems to be behaving. Okay, so that works here. Why is IntelliJ doesn't want me to delete things? Thanks. That is weird. So certain keys are working, but backspace and delete are not. Did I do something with IntelliJ? Let's see. Okay, maybe is it... Okay, so this one's is working, but parser... Okay, now I can. Weird. So, I was saying private... I want this to be in this... cond expr, and this cond expr is going to take... let's see. That is going to take... I don't really need to... Let's think. Um, could it be a plus minus expression, or just? Can I do that? Instead of a call expression, I want a plus minus expression like this. Okay, let's try to run the test again. Okay, seems to be running now. And everything runs, but I have an exception, and here I've got a unchecked error was produced. No such element exception, key not found if. So same problem as before. It thinks that if is actually a variable and not a keyword. So let's go back to my parsers. Oh, okay, let's put condition here. So I am saying that a call expression could be a condition or a string and so on. So if it sees that this is a condition, it will check here. It will see that if is a keyword, so it will try to evaluate it. Okay, let's try to run that again. Okay, recursive method multi-div expr needs result type. That makes sense. That is because I try to say that my okay, and here I've got this expression. So where is expr defined? Doesn't seem to be defined anywhere. Let's put expr like this, then expr and like that. So where is it defined? That is defined here. Okay, so that could be an expression. Maybe later I will try to surround these with curly braces but yeah, for now let's do that. So run, same test again. Let's see. Okay, so key not found, true. Oh, I think I know. Yes, I forgot to surround true with double quotes. So it is considered. Okay, let me change these. So if true, if, so this one's going to be false. Then I will have eventually the possibility to replace true with a string, with the matching string. But for now, let's see. So let's think. If false, then 1, else 0. If true, then 1. So which ones were failing? That was this one here and that one there. meaning that it was always returning this first value. So there must be something that does not work the way it should. So maybe here. So if my condition evaluate if true, so that thing here seems to be called every time. Let's think. If const str equals ignore case true or condition string different from the string 0. So why? Let's do something. Let's put some debug statements. System out print line, and I wanted to print condition. So the condition is going to be const str. If true is going to be, well, if true. And then if false, like this, okay. And I want to display the value for dollar if false. Okay, let's run this guy. Hopefully I should be able to capture a bit more information about what is going on. So condition is true. Okay, so that should match this. If true, then I return the string 1. Okay, if false, sum of string 0. Here, and the second one is, okay, so false 1 and string 0. Okay, and here that returns, so that gives me a condition of false 1 string 0. Huh, interesting. Could it be, let's make sure. Let's put another print line and say true condition with the same conditions like that. Okay. And else I'm gonna put the same thing here, except that I'm gonna change it to false. So false condition is gonna be here if true, if false. Okay. So if false, that is an optional of expression. So let's slightly change that. I'm gonna do if false dot get or else expression dot string of str, and we're gonna put a empty thing, and then I want to evaluate it like this. So val f like this, and then I parse it. So let's try that. So it is still failing. True, 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 true. Everything is true. So cond str. I don't get why. Oh, I think this is because here I am saying if it is equal to true or different from 0. But yes, the problem is that it is always going to be different from 0 if it's false. So yes, that's... Oh, dang it. I am stupid. So what I need to do is I need to do an str to big decimal. I need to check if it is a number. And if it is a number, then I need to compare it with 0. That makes sense. So here I need to do an str to big decimal. That would explain why. Okay, so str to big decimal of conditional string. That gives me a optional of big decimal dot exists. And here different from 0, I guess. That should work a bit better now. Okay, and now it's all green. Yes. Okay, so here I am comparing, if it is a string, I am comparing this string to true. If otherwise, if that is not true, then I try to parse it to a big decimal and compare the value with 0. If it is 0, then that means that it is false. Otherwise, we're good to go. All right, so that makes sense. Okay. Let me change that a bit. So here, if false, I don't want to have this useless f in the middle. So if false dot map, and I want to evaluate underscore scope like that. Okay, and then get or else, that is going to give me a string if I don't have anything like that. Okay, okay. I think let's run that just to be sure. It's probably going to work now. Good stuff. So the conditions have been implemented. So two other things I need to do now. I need to test these conditions a bit more. I want, for example, to make sure that I can pass expressions to my if statement, to my conditions. Then I will create some shortcuts for if I have an idea. I will create a keyword for true and false. That should make life easier. And then I will start the work on built-in methods. For now, I'm just going to have a quick technical break and we can continue in a few minutes. All right, so talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm back. All right, so now I will go and start creating some. I will try. I will go and create some built-in keywords. So the ones I want to create are true and false. I want these keywords to always be evaluated. Okay, so I'm going to create an expression for true and false. So private batch def bool 0, like that. Again, that's going to be like this. And what I want to say is p of, so if I have a word, how can I do that? P of, let's see, can I do, because I want this to be case insensitive, so let's do, or maybe no, let's make it a case sensitive stuff. So case true. So in that case, I want to map to an expression. So whatever that is, I'm gonna do that. I want to map it to a string that contains the string true, like this. Okay. Or let's say true or false, like that. Then bool, and I want to get it as a bool, like this. Oopsie, bool, not ball. Okay, so let's reformat the code, and I want to treat this as either a number or, so a number is defined as either a decimal or an integer. And I want to capture these first. So, okay, so I've got either a bool, a true or a false, and I want to map it to their Boolean equivalent. And a string can be a number or a Boolean or a regular string. And these regular strings are surrounded with double quotes. Okay, so let's add this in my tests. Let's increase the test. So here, if true, then 1, else 0, and then I should be getting 1. Okay. I want to do the same thing with false. False, like this, and I am going to be getting a 0. I haven't tested the numeric values. So if 1, then 1. If 0, then 0. Okay. Well, where is the... Okay, there we go. So if true, then 1, else 0, false. Okay. I am going to make sure that I can test if I try to do something like this. So let's think about it for a second. see. I know. If okay, I need to escape this guy. TR like that plus. So right now I have an expression that I am trying to evaluate. So if true, then 1. So hopefully that will try to capture these. And now I want to do the same thing with false. And it will return 0. Okay, let's try to run these guys already. It all compiles, that's a good sign. Even though I haven't modified many things. And everything gives me the expected result. Sweet. I am just gonna separate these. Or do I? Yeah. I am gonna put now. I want to evaluate my. So if true, then I want to do 1 plus 0. Else I want to do 0 plus 2. And so the first one should return 1. I'm going to do the same thing now with false. If false, and that should give me a 2 instead. Okay, let's try to run this just to make sure that it is still working. It is still working, so my expressions are being evaluated before they are returned. Cool. That is excellent news. What else can I do? Let's think. So now I have some keywords for true and false. If it is 1, then this is considered as okay. Trying to think of some other stuff that we might want to test. Can't think of anything right now. I have to admit I'm a bit brain dead. I wonder if I can I have nested conditions? Let's try that. So if, and now I am gonna do another. So if true then 1, then I want to return 2, otherwise I want to return 3. And that should, so if this one should be first evaluated, so if true then 1, so that should give me 1, and then 1 is true, then it should give me 2. Okay, so let's try to evaluate this one. I wonder if I'm gonna... No, it didn't work. Okay, so parsed is failure. I found a closing parenthesis, then two, and so on. Okay, so I apparently can't have nested conditions here. Input string is if true then 1, then 2, else 3. Oh, maybe did I forget the semicolon? Because maybe I think semicolon are separators for my. Oh yeah, that was because I forgot the semicolon. Whoa, that is powerful. All right, so let's make sure that this works everywhere. So I'm gonna get one of my simple conditions like this. So if true, then I'm gonna do this one. I need to have it many times. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if true, then if true, yep, then 1 semicolon. So that should give me 1. Okay. Then I want to replace this, Control C. Let's put an else. So if true, then 0, else 1. So here that should give me, I'm going to change this to false. I want to make sure that it gets all evaluated. Okay, and so then I need to do here, that's going to be then 0, else if true, then okay, so if false in that case, and that one is going to be if false as well. So if else if false, then 0, else 1. And I need to put a semicolon to indicate the end of my. I guess we can always make this a bit better afterwards, but okay, let's run and see what it is that we are. And it's all green. Sweet. Should I put a semicolon and if? I mean, semicolons are they kind of make sense. I just don't like to have them repeated. And I think that they are required because otherwise that would be breaking stuff. So let's try that again, and that should break. it does. Because my expression is not ended properly. Okay. So now I have some built-in keywords for true and false. So let me try to run that again. Then I will commit everything, post it to GitHub just to be sure I don't have any beta prizes. Cool. It's all green, so now here I am gonna say implemented conditions. Okay. Let's do that. Commit and push. And it's all on text commands. And push. Okay, good. So I have my commands. Well, I have the basics for my functions. Actually, I am kind of dumb. I could have implemented my if as a built-in function. Now that I think of it, I could have called the built-in function as if and passed 3 parameters, 3 expressions, and only evaluate the. I guess I can do both, and the preferred way will be to be using the built-in function. So let's do that. Let's go and implement a built-in function. So I kind of already started to do the same the work. For now, I'm gonna do if. So val if function name, and that is gonna be, so the name of the function is gonna be if. Okay. And then let's see. I have so def if function. This if function takes arguments. Cool. Like that. And that returns a try of string. So first, I want to check how many arguments I have for my function. So I need to have one which is going to be the condition, another one for if it is true, and an optional third one which is going to be if it is false. And if it is false, then in that case I'm going to be passing a false. Okay, so let's do that. Check argument number for args. An argument number, I need to indicate the minimum amount, which is going to be 2, and the maximum amount, which is going to be 3. If I have more or less, then it will give me an error. Good. So now that I check that, that gives me, where is it? So the condition after, let's see, check argument number, and then I get a function with strings with a list of strings. Okay, so here I'm going to be calling it sec, as in sequence. And so there are going to be two cases. So my sequence match. So here it should be case head tac tac, or maybe even condition. If true, if false. Okay, let's leave it like that. Then I need to do count if true, followed by an empty list. So is false is okay. And the final case, which we should never reach, because before we are checking these arguments, I am gonna do this throw new exception, or maybe, yeah. Case default. So here I am gonna be throwing an exception. How do I do that? Let's say, do I have in try? Do I have a possibility to say error or something? No, try fail. No, can I just do? Okay, let's do a throw. And I'm gonna do that. So here throw incorrect number of arguments, which is going to be that is going to be a sequence dot length. Okay. All right, so now I want to have, so these are going to be the three different cases. So let's say that it gives me a tuple. The tuple is first going to be condition. The second one is going to be if true, and the third one is going to be if false. Okay. So here, what it should return should be count if true, and if it is false, then I return this empty thing. And the second one here is going to be, well, I'm going to be returning count if true, if false. So these right now, I have these, that is how I extract my condition, and if true, if false. Good. So now what I need to do is I have this condition here, which I am going to extract because I want to be able to reuse it. And if I modify the function, I want to have also this thing here that will be modified, or vice versa. So here def, let's call it if string true. It takes a conditional string as input and gives me a boolean as output, and that is actually going to be equal to that. Okay, So if cond str, okay, that should still be good. Maybe do some reorganization. Oh no, if is string true of cond str, like that, then in that case I do all of this. Cool. So cond str equals ignore case. So that is how I can check if a string is true or false. So I can now reuse that. If so let's think. If is string true, how, what? Oh, it is pointing here, so I must have somewhere some imports. Yeah, I'm doing the import here. Good. So if string true of condition, then in that case I return a try. Dang it. I return a try of if true, else I return a try of if false. So now I have my if function. So before I had this built-in functions map, which lists all the built-in functions. So I had some problems with this view and map values. Let's leave it aside for a second. And instead I want here, so that's not going to give me a map of string and functions. It's going to give me, let's see, what does the compiler suggest? KV and map of KV. No, let's say I want to get a string and an associated method with it, not a map. So let's see, add type annotation. Now it suggests that I have a string as a key and a function that takes a sequence of strings, and okay, so that is much better. So right now I want to have built-in functions like the others, and the name is going to be how did I call that? That was if function name. If function name. No. So this default time zone, and I've got this if here. Not sure why it doesn't give me. Okay, let's do a Control F. Okay, and I want to associate it with my if function here, like that. Oh, maybe because, yeah, I forgot the comma. So now if if I find a call to a function called if, then I can use this function right there. Okay. Okay. So now I need to import this built-in function map into my values and pass it as the original evaluates. So I need to pass it as my original scope. And so here that expects a map of string and value, value being one of these. And what is this? So I need to be able to take a sequence of string, a function that takes a sequence of string and that, and gives me this. So I am basically what this toFunc function does is that it converts this value into a function that can then be used in my map string value. All right. So that is why. So now I've got this map. I need to take these. I don't want to have a map of string sequence yada yada yada. What I want, well, let's keep it simple for now. Built-in function maps, and I am gonna get this one. What I want to do is I want to have a method or a val. Let's do a lazy val, which is maybe put it here in value instead. So lazy val built-in functions like that. That sounds good. And this built-in function is going to be like this. It's going to have the same type as that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is evaluate unless I mention otherwise, it's going to do built-in, it's going to use built-in functions. Cool, I think. So now I need to create this built-in function. And this built-in function, I am going to use this map right there. So let's copy this reference. So I am going to start with built-in functions dot, where is it? Oh, yeah, I can't, because this built-in functions is actually a class. There we go. So I can't have it like that, can I? Huh, interesting. Let's for now, I am going to create a new built-in function. Okay. So new built-in functions like that. I'm not going to pass anything, so that's going to give me my default elements, and I can always work on that later. Dot built-in functions map. So now I have a map. However, that is a map that has all these keys as strings, so that matches. However, I am expecting a value, and this map gives me a list of functions. So what I want to do is I want to do a map like that, or case key value like that. And I want to return I want to return key associated to, I want to transform, so I'm going to use this toFunc. Is this toFunc? Yeah, okay, so I just need toFunc let's see. Val function equals, so let's say toFunc of value. And I want to return key associated to func of function, like this. Okay. So here, what I'm doing is I'm taking the built-in functions, and I will need to find a way to build it properly. And then I try to do this built-in function map, and I try to transform everything like that. Phew, okay. So I need now to run my tests. And let's see, I need to do a very simple, I want to do a simple function. So I have my if, which should be okay. Do I have something else that I could be using? Should I do like a hello world function then? Let's try to do that. Val hello world name, or maybe no, let's do hello world name equal hello world, like this. And so when I call hello world, let's do that. So built-in functions dot if function name, whatever, so here that gets associated to whatever the value. What I want to return is a try containing hello world. Okay, good. So now I should have, if I try to type a method called hello world, that should give me hello world instead. Okay. So in my test, let's add a new condition. So here, Control C. I'm going to say that these are going to be new separate tests and built-in methods tests. And here I want to call hello world with parentheses and expected. That should give me a string with hello world inside. I think in this test expression evaluation, I have a possibility here to pass my contexts. So the context here, instead of using the default empty map, I am going to be using the value dot built-in function. Okay. Do I have another one where I have these? So context here, value.evaluate. That should be it. Okay. So here that's going to be very similar to that, except that I want to get my, so here instead of being parser texts, that's going to be built-in methods test. Built-in methods test. Okay. And I want to run Where's it? So here, this test suite is going to run my parser test as well as my built-in method test. And this one is going to run test 0201. Okay, so now that should, and I am gonna do, because that one is, this hello world is very simple. It could take any, I didn't put any restriction on the number of arguments we could have. So hello world, 1, 2, 3, true, false. That should always return hello world, like this. Goody. So let's try to run this guy, and I am not interested in parser tests unless they fail. So everything gets instantiated, and that doesn't work. Okay. Key not found, hello world. Good. Okay. So built-in method test. So, okay, let's first make sure that hello world key not found, hello world. Okay, so that should be, just again want to make sure that the syntax is correct. And here it says the key was not found. So if I do that, test expression evaluation, that is going to try to use the built-in functions. And the built-in functions take my built-in function map, which is defined here, and transform them into a format that I can use. Cool. Cool, I guess. Okay. Do I have in my, so yes, I've got this. Oh, if function name. No, here I want to have hello world name. That is why that could not be found. All right, so now that should work much better. No name. So I don't know why that is giving me no name. However, it is green. So that is good. That is really good. All right, so what else do I have? I have multiple different things. So let's put these built-in functions on the side, split and move right, like this. So I can have default okay, default datetime format. This one is going to, so default datetime format with random, no, 1, 2, this one should fail, the second one should fail. I have now, no, well, now it's going to be a bit tricky because the result is going to change all the time. So default time zone with 1, 2, 3, like that. And what can I do for now? Because now is not always going to give me the same result. Let's leave now aside for a bit and So default date format name, default date format is going to be like this. So that should be returning this, maybe without the double quotes. So let's take this guy here. Default date format, that should be returning that. Time zone is going to be UTC, like that. So these ones for now I leave hello world, but I know that they're going to fail. And I will need to find a way to run now. Okay, so let's try that. Oh, and by the way, let's check. Built-in method test, built-in method test. Oh, maybe. Let's change that to simple built-in method test. Maybe that is because it has the same name as the thing before that it is failing now. All right, so let's try to run this. And again, I'm expecting to have some failures. Okay, so default date format name. That is not the error I was expecting. Let's go back. Default date format name is default date format. Oh. Yeah. And default time zone there should be working. Okay. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Let's try to run that again. So yes, it is failing, and we have an error saying incorrect number of arguments. Perfect. That is exactly what I want for my hello world here. And as a matter of fact, this one should be returning the same thing, I think. Okay, the incorrect number of arguments is going to be 3. Expected size 0. All right, let's run, and this time I should be getting successes. Okay, so it is failing. Oh yeah. So incorrect number of arguments 3. Because indeed I am passing 3 here. Expected size 0, and then we've got the exception here. So yes, I made a mistake. So let's fix the mistake and try to run that again. And everything's green. So my built-in methods seem to be working. Now, how am I going to test now? I want to make sure that now gets properly tested. So should I change? Let's have a look at now what it does exactly. So if function get default date format, get default time zone now. So now I can pass between 0 and 2 arguments with the format and the zone, and then it tries to okay, get this, give me the time down to, let's see, so by default that is gonna give me let's make this a bit bigger so I can pass my default date format, default time zone. So let's put these into a separate test. I am gonna, so I need this signature. I need to close this parenthesis. And here I am gonna say that I want to test the now built-in method. So this is now built-in method test. I need to put the double quotes because otherwise it's going to complain. Yes. All right. So let's think. How can I test that? So, first I can test that I am gonna get errors if I try to run now with the improper number of arguments. Let's try to do that. All right, so now I'm gonna do this. Control C. Tac. So I want to test if I, well, just one. So instead of hello world, I want to test now like this. And I want to pass, so I can have maximum 2, so 1, 2, and 3. And expected should be an error with incorrect number of arguments, expected size, like that. The message might be slightly different because I think it will say minimum 0, maximum 2 or something like this. So expected size might be different, but most of it should be the same. Let's reference, so we've got this test 0202 like this. Okay, good. I don't need these equals at the end. Let's split these strings because they are pretty long. Okay, let's try to see if that makes, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be failing because, oh, and I need to say that I want to run this test. So where is it? Oh, there it is. Test 202. Good. All right, so here, now 1, 2, 3, and that is going to give me an error because the text is not exactly the same. Let's try to run that. So it was failing, and indeed the text is slightly different. Okay, so let's copy the text and paste it instead. So it says incorrect number of arguments 3, expected min size 0, expected max size 2. Okay, so now if I run, that is going to be working. Okay, okay, so simple built-in methods test and now built-in method test. So how can I test now? I want to make sure that now works with the proper arguments, and I can't say give me always the same. I mean, I guess I could. I guess I could. Uh-huh. The ideal would be to be passing a datetime, whatever datetime I want. And always test against this datetime that I am passing. The problem is I believe we can do that with ZeoTest, which I'm using. However, the expression I am testing is not using the Zeo clock. So that's why I can't do this just yet. However, I can put this as a to-do for later. Yeah, I'm starting to think about how would I do that, and I'm not quite sure how. Because the clock should be changing all the time. And right now I am lucky because these built-in functions are not that completely independent. And that creates a lot of dependency if I try to get Zeo within. Let's put a note somewhere to say make this SEO friendly or something. And I guess I could get rid of this hello world because I have my default time zone and date format name, which should not change. So yeah, let's get rid of the new hello world, which is kind of silly since I'm already doing this. Oh yeah, I forgot to test if. Okay, let's try to add some if conditions. So oh, maybe take again the exact same thing here as here, and just change to have an if that works for each and every one of them. So evaluating conditions, and this one is going to be test 03. So that is test 203 evaluating. So that's I'm going to take the same thing as here, like that. Okay. Okay. And if built-in method. So let's try. So right now that should be 1, 2. Then same thing here. 1. Okay. Nope. No. If like this. Okay. Then I want to do then if else like that. Okay. If 1, then 1 else 0, and I close this guy. So I want to replace these else with that. So let's replace this, that. Allows me to go a bit faster. Okay, I want to replace this with close parentheses, double quotes, and that. So replace, okay. Okay, then I want to replace this then here with okay, so now okay. Is it did I put 2 spaces? Not that it should really matter actually, but okay, I think it looks good. So I need to indicate that I want to run this thing. Okay, let's try to run this test. Okay, so it is failing. Okay, so it is not a success. There was some problem trying to parse the text. Is it because if is already taken? Should I change this to if as a function like that. Maybe let's try that. If so, okay, then I want to have another if in here. Then let's try that. That could be because if could be either a built-in method or a keyword, and that is kind of a problem. So if I try to add another f, that might work better. Let's see. Yes, that was the problem. So I just need to change this with this if with two f's, and it works. Whoa. That is a lot of various different expressions. So if is working, default date format is working, default time zone name is working. I need to find a way to test now properly. Huh. Should I mark the test as flaky and make and indicate I will mark the test as flaky and get the time. So I need to go back to the Zio test documentation and try to find, because there is a way. Let's do a Google search. Zio test flaky or effective testing flaky Z stream. Okay, let's try first to see what Pavels there was. Yeah, flaky retries a test until success. And then we've got non-flaky. Ignore after. Okay, so here I can do at flaky. I am just going to mark this as flaky. Okay, so this is going to be at, and he mentioned that I should be using flaky like this. So it is complaining probably because, yes, I don't have the proper import, and I am going to be indicating we are testing the date and the return date could be different from expectations in certain cases. They change or other, like that. So now I am going to take the current time. I'm just going to be as precise as the default one, because let's see, the default one gives me down to the level of seconds. So just my tests are pretty fast running, but they couldn't be taking a bit more than a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take something with the format day, month, year, hour, and minutes, and I'm going to forget everything after. All right, so file test date format equal. So I'm going to pass this. And then I want to have test time zone. And I am in EST. Good. So now I want to run a test. I want to run a test with now, and I want to pass. So now is first expecting the date format, which is going to be oopsie. That is going to be test date format, and then I need to pass the second one, which is going to be my test time zone, like that. Good. I also need to get val expected time, and this val expected time should be this. Okay. So okay. So instead of default datetime, I want to get this thing, and the test time zone is going to be that thing. And df format. So expected time should be a string, and my the expression that I want to have return is that it is going to be a success containing a string. So that is going to be a string, and this string is actually going to contain let's see, the expected time, yeah, should be expected time, like that. So that, I think that should work. I think. Okay, let's try to run this guy and see if that works. If it fails, it will try to run the same test for some time. So instantiating tests. And it seems to be working. Cool. Nice. Okay. Let's try to see. Let's try to see now if I try to run this, but this time without this. Okay, so I'm just going to rename this expected time to shift function F6. expected time 0, 1, and it has been updated here. Good. And now I need expected time 0, 2 because I want now to test without mentioning the time zone. So let's do that. Control C, oopsie. Control C as I said. Control V, and the time zone I want to test is going to be, what is it going to be actually? Built-in functions, I think. Dot default time zone. Yes. So this one is going to be val expected time 02. And so I don't need to have that. And that should be expected time 02. All right, let's try to run this guy. And everything's green. Cool, cool. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, I can't really test now without anything, which is kind of a bummer. Let's modify this test expression evaluation, and instead, so what does it do? What it does is, so we get an input, we get an expected output, and then we've got context. Okay, so the context are the built-in functions, and then the parser is what I use to parse my expressions. Perfect, that's great. What I want to do is, so here I've got this assert true. And what I am doing is I am just basically doing this. So I want to do almost the same, except that I want to, yeah. So I want to add a new condition, and I'm just going to replace that. So let's take this whole expression. We're just going to slightly change. And here I've got string and returns a Boolean. So I take a string as input and I return a Boolean. So here, what I want to do is I want to take expected and I want to apply my input. No, I want to apply the evaluation of this input. Why is it highlighted here? Oh, I am. Yeah, okay, so here I also need to change that. So if not expected of evaluation of this, then I display the AST for debugging. Okay, and so now if I have this expected like this, I don't need to take this whole thing here. I can just call my method here, and I pass almost the same arguments. So I pass input, only the expectation is going to be slightly different because I'm going to say I'm going to transform this into a method. And so here, if I try to call test expression evaluation, I say text expression evaluation with only a string, it compares the two strings. Otherwise, I have now a new method that allows me to compare. I pass a string and I see if I get a boolean out of it or not. So I can now call this one, and where is it? So I can say I'm going to take almost the same signature as this one. And I am going to take, so val expected expectation 03 equal, so here I take in str, the string, let's make it explicit, and I want to see if str dot starts with, and then I take, let's think. So it starts with str of expected time 02. So expected time 02, I'm going to use the same default time zone, and the only missing thing here is the is going to be the second, the part about the seconds and the time zone. So that should be, so it should start with str expected time and maybe ends str dot ends with, let's do that. Oh, maybe even better, I should be able str dot matches, and I can pass a regular expression. Can I though? I can do that. So it starts with str expected time and str matches. I need to pass a regular expression. So this regular expression is going to be, let's see. So we said day. Okay, let's. I'm just going to go back to the pattern page in Java because there are shortcuts. So I want to have a number, so digits, okay, digits, then dash, okay. So digit, ooh, no. The shortcut was \d. \d, \d, I need to escape this, or even better, let's use the triple quotes in Java. That's so \d, \d. I need to escape this. So day, month, yeah. So \d. Again, I need to escape the minus. \d. Oof. I probably could do the what's that again? The to indicate how many characters I have. That is, okay, curly braces and then and a number. So backslash t twice, then backslash t again twice, backslash t this time I need to have it 4 times, then space. I need to have backslash t. What was the default? Okay, semi backslash t twice. I don't think that this is a okay, and then I had the seconds, which was on 2 digits, I think. Then space, and how many characters did I have for that? That would be UTC actually, because that's the default. Oh, I am just gonna S. No. Yeah, but it should be UTC. And so the last thing here, expected, and instead of passing a string, I am passing expectation 3, like that. And I don't need to have any like this. Okay, good. And that should work. Okay, let's remove this. I don't need that. So it should start with the expected time, which is the same as my default time without the seconds, and then I make sure that everything else is correct. Okay, I guess. Drum roll. I have no idea if that is going to work. Let's try. Okay, that doesn't work. In object evaluator test, multiple overloaded alternatives of test expression evaluation, default argument. Okay. Expression, test expression evaluation. So what I am going to do is, where is it? Test expression evaluation. Where's the first one? I want to get the first one. Test expression evaluation. So there we are. So we've got these two, and they can, yes, indeed, they can pass. So, okay, let's change these so that only one has default values. No, wrong one. So now it's going to complain because there is one. I think that was in my last one here. Yeah, so this one it can't find, so I need to be explicit and pass. Or maybe, you know what, let's just rename this guy. Because if the name's different, that should work. So test expression evaluation with condition like that. So I take that. Okay, and then I go back to the only place where I test this. Good. Okay, hopefully that should work. So let's try to run. Now I have two methods with two different names, so that is okay. The compiler should not have any problems. Okay. So failed. Expected evaluation result to string. And who? Okay. So that doesn't seem to be working. Let's see the details. So botshell evaluator test 77. So expected of evaluation results. AST for now is we need to call ident now with list empty. So that sounds good. I need to call this. However, that was not working. So expected. Why? Let's compare. So here I am comparing it with the expected. So evaluation results. I will put some extra debugging print line. So here, or maybe put it here. So AST for input is AST expression, and then let's put here dollar evaluation results dot toString. So I am going to try to run this guy again. Control S. Let's run this again. So still not working, but so AST for now is cool. And I have this str of, so today is the 4th of December. That's good. However, that does not match what I am expecting. Okay, so let's go back to my condition then. The condition is I have a string. The string starts with this and matches that. So, okay, let's decompose that. Val starts with equal this. Good. Starts with condition. Val regex condition equal that. Good. So if if the condition does not match. If starts with condition, if not starts with condition, then I want to do, let's do something like this instead. So, and in the end, I want to return starts with condition and regex condition. So, okay. So starts with condition and regex condition equal or match like that. Case true and true. Then in that case, I don't do anything. Case true and false. So here I am going to put a system error print line, and I am going to say so the string str, let's put it between single quotes so that if there are spaces I will see, does not match the regex, and then I pass my regex. So the regex is going to be this. Let's just save it somewhere. Val regex equal Control V, and here matches the regex. So now I can display my regex. Case false. So true here and false there. So the first one is false and the second one is true. In that case, the message is going to be Control C, Control V, str does not start with, and then I'm going to be here, val start with equal, and I'm going to take this like that and start with like this. Cool. That does not start with, and I call this. And then if both are false, false and false, in that case I am gonna do does not match the regex and does not start with that. Okay, so that's a bit longer, but at least I should have some details on why that does not work. Let's try to see. Let's try to run this guy and see if that works a bit better now. Okay, so does not match the regex. Oh, and indeed, that is returning 3 numbers instead of just 2. Okay, so there must be something wrong here. I'm expecting to have 2 of them, and instead it is giving me 3 of them. So that explains why that does not work. Okay, so let's go back to my built-in functions. And so here that gives me HHMMSS. Okay. Is it lowercase s then? Okay, let's try to run this. still not working. Doesn't match the regex. Okay, interesting. So now it gives me, why doesn't it match the regex? So 04 dash, so I've got two D's and then the dash and then two characters again and then a dash. And then I have a space, 2, 2, 2, so 2, 2, 2, and then UTC. Oh, yes, 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 because it starts with string and then in parentheses. Okay, that makes sense. So the problem is not the regex, the problem is me. So it needs to start with str. I need to escape this parenthesis. And then I need to escape the closing parenthesis. Yes. Okay, so that should work much better now. Okay, so it is green and this one's not working anymore because so simple built-in methods. Yeah, so it's not returning that. It is returning. It's okay. I am going to make this a bit more flexible by doing come on, built-in functions dot default date format. That way, the next time I change the default date format, that's going to break it. And this one's going to, let's do the same thing here. So, built-in functions, no default time zone. Okay. So now, hopefully that should compile and run and everything should be fine. Cool. So everything's working the way it should. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so I created my built-in functions. I implemented both an if as a statement and if as a built-in function. I created some some operators for the Boolean. One thing that I might have problems with is I need to change the evaluation of my Booleans because and or is probably not going to work. So I will need to do that. What else? Yeah, no, that is good. So next thing I need to do is I will need to be able to integrate it with the rest of the bot. So next time, what I'm doing is I will be adding these custom commands to the bot. Cool stuff. All right, well, thanks everyone. That was interesting, at least for me. Have a very good day and talk to you soon. Cheers, bye.